Hi, and welcome to Simply Happy Conversations. I'm Rachelle King, and in this Simply Happy Conversation Favourite Tips series, I'm sharing a tip about slow living with Rachel from How to Live Slow. She's a mum and coach and also has her own podcast, How to Live Slow, about how to live a slower, more intentional life. To listen to the full conversation, head to episode 9 or check out the recording on YouTube. Let's jump into today's favourite tip. Welcome to Simply Happy Conversations. I'm Rachelle King, wellness and organisational coach and yin and nidra yoga instructor. This podcast will help you create more time using organisational strategies so that you can start to simplify your life and prioritise your health. I'll be sharing conversations with other health and organisational experts and solo episodes with tips to help you simplify your life and prioritise your health.
So to me, slow living, like a lot of people just assume it means that you just don't want to do anything and you want to stay home a lot and say no to everything. And it's actually not that. It doesn't mean that you're lazy. It doesn't mean that you're boring or that you're too introverted or not social or whatever. It actually has a lot to do with understanding what your values are. So if you say that your number one value is family, and then have a look at how you're actually spending your time and making adjustments, so that if your number one value is family, but you never actually cultivate those relationships or spend time with your family because, you're working or you're doing all other things, keeping yourself busy, keeping the house clean, whatever it is, what we do as mums, actually what you want to be doing is spending more quality time with the kids. Well, how can you implement that a little bit? And that's why, we're at the start of our conversation, I said about rituals and changing your routines into little rituals for those quality connection times. So that's what slow living is. It's really a realignment of your life. I kind of think about it as how people talk about organic food is actually real food. To me, slow living is actually real living. So it's taking away all that stuff that we think we have to do and unsticking ourselves from the stories about the shoulds and the hustle and the achievement of external stuff, and really looking at, well, what would I regret more? In the future, and what do I need to do to change that? And it's about holding boundaries, right? So learning how to say no so that you can say yes to the right things. And I think people think of boundaries again as being ways that you block other people out, but they're actually just rules of connection or rules of engagement for you so that you feel the most energized. So when you get 100 million invites and your kids want to do 100 million sports and everything, you've got to filter, because you've got really strong boundaries. You've got to filter so that you can allocate, all right, I'm going to see this person because I really want to see that person and engage deeply with them. And I don't want to get there and be constantly thinking, I've got to get going to the next thing, so that, you can see that person for the period of time until you're ready to leave, not because you have to. So there's a couple of different things in there, but it's just, it's about being certain of who you are and what you really want out of life, and then going towards that as much as you can.
Yeah, I love that, how defining your values. Thank you so much for joining me for today's Simply Happy Conversation. If you'd like to reduce your stress, improve your mood, and support your immune system, then join me for an introduction to yin and nidra yoga. Over 5 short 10-minute online lessons, you'll start to feel calmer and more rested. Head to simplyhappy.com.au in the resources section and start today.